Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to turn what you think of as a mountain of trash into a story of, well, wonder. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's start with the number, $281.1 billion. That's what the world spent just managing garbage last year. Now, a number that huge, it isn't just a market statistic, right? It's a symptom of something much bigger, and it forces us to ask a really critical question. So today, we're going to explore the real scale of this global waste crisis. But here's the exciting part. We're also going to look at a pretty groundbreaking solution that could flip this whole thing on its head, turning our biggest problem into, believe it or not, our greatest resource. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get a handle on the global waste problem. Then, we'll rethink that whole take, make, dispose system we're stuck in. After that, we dive into a really cool case study, a company called BRICK. We'll look at the tech they're using to transform trash, see how it's paving a greener future, and finally, uncover the real value hidden in our waste. All right, section 1. First things first, let's really get our heads around the scale of this global waste problem. Because the numbers, you'll see, they're not just big, they're getting bigger faster. And look, this market is not slowing down, not by a long shot. That projection you see there, it's all being fueled by things like urbanization, pushing growth at over 4% every single year. It's kind of wild, right? We're just getting better and better at making waste, and it's turning into a bigger business day by day. And make no mistake, this is a truly global issue. You can see North America has the biggest slice of the pie right now. But get this, the fastest growth is actually happening over in the Asia-Pacific region. It just goes to show you how widespread this challenge really is. Okay, let this sink in. 3.4 billion tons. That's the amount of waste the World Bank says we're on track to generate every single year by 2050. You know, a number that massive isn't just a management problem. It's a fundamental design flaw in our whole economic system. Right, so that leads us to our next point. The real issue here isn't just the trash itself. It's the economic engine we've built, an engine that's basically been designed, for centuries, to create all this waste in the first place. For the longest time, we've been stuck in what's called a linear economy. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a one-way street with a dead end. We take resources, we make stuff, and then we just dispose of it. Sure, it was simple, it was efficient for a while, but we're now seeing that it's just fundamentally unsustainable. But, and this is a big but, there is an alternative. It's called the circular economy. And this isn't just a small tweak, it's a complete paradigm shift. We're talking about a system that's regenerative by design, a world where waste isn't the end of the line, but actually a new beginning. Okay, so this whole circular economy thing sounds great in theory, right? But how does it actually work in practice? Well, let's look at a concrete example. A company called BRICK Innovio. Look at their mission statement, turning waste into valuable resources. It just perfectly captures the whole spirit of the circular economy. It's a direct challenge to how we've always defined trash. And listen, we are not just talking about your typical bottles and cans here. No. BRICK goes after the really hard stuff. They target over 40 types of materials that we usually just call unrecyclable, the things that have a one-way ticket straight to the landfill. We're talking construction debris, e-waste, tires, even industrial sludge. So the big question is, how on earth do they do it? How do they take this incredibly diverse, messy mix of waste and turn it into something genuinely useful? Well, it all comes down to some seriously clever technology. The real magic, if you want to call it that, is in their patented process. They can take that whole mix of 40+ waste types without a ton of sorting. Add this special proprietary binder, and bam, they create brand new, high-quality construction materials. And the most important part? No burning, no incineration, which means no harmful pollutants. And don't think this is just some simple recipe like baking a cake. This is super sophisticated, data-driven science. They have a database with over 500,000 different formulas. This lets them precisely engineer new materials to have specific properties, all built from the stuff you used to just throw away. It's incredible. Okay, but a cool idea and some fancy tech is one thing. The proof is in the pudding, right? So how do these recycled materials actually hold up in the real world? Well, take a look at this comparison. The results kind of speak for themselves.
Their aggregates are made of nearly 99% waste, yet they have this incredibly low water absorption rate. And here's the kicker. They meet the official ASTM C331 standards. That's the stamp of approval, the certification that says this stuff is safe, reliable, and ready for construction.
And get this, it's not even just about replacing the old materials. It's about making them better. Recent tests actually showed that asphalt made with their product was over 3 times stronger than the regular stuff. Just let that sink in for a second. We're talking about stronger roads literally built from our trash. And this isn't just some experiment happening in a lab somewhere. This technology is out in the wild. It's being actively piloted in major cities like Jerusalem and Singapore, proving that it works in real-world infrastructure projects right now. So, let's bring it all back. This case study, it's more than just a cool success story about one company. It's a powerful, tangible answer to that massive global problem we talked about right at the beginning. Because the benefits here are just transformative. When we start treating waste as a resource, we're not just reducing how much stuff we dump in landfills or cutting down on emissions, we're actually creating a whole new generation of products that, in many cases, are even better than the originals. And really, that's the big takeaway. This is so much bigger than just getting better at recycling. What we're looking at is a fundamental rethinking of our entire system, how we produce things, how we consume things, on a scale we honestly haven't seen since the first industrial revolution. So I'll leave you with this final thought. If our trash can literally build stronger cities, if something as complex as asphalt can be made from what we discard, what else are we throwing away? It really challenges all of us to see potential where we used to only see a problem. It makes you wonder, right? What other incredible innovations are just sitting there, waiting to be discovered in the things we call waste?